And welcome back to Sports Weekly on IEMG. Give the video a like, subscribe to the Inland Empire Media Group YouTube channel. Before we go any further, before we get to the highlights and some interviews here as we take a look at Week 9 of the high school football season. But in order to make Week 9 make sense, you got to go back and look at Week number 8. And guess what? We've got some bonus highlights that did not make Sports Weekly live on Saturday, which we hope you watch that to get all your high school football scores and highlights. But we had some extra footage that we saved just for Sports Weekly. So, the Aquinas Falcons, check out this. Tyson Gaines takes the pass in the flat, and he is gone. Big-time touchdown for the Aquinas Falcons. They would roll to victory against Heritage Christian by a score of 35-0. The final in that one. Big-time touchdown by Gaines. Of course, Champ Brown and company, they did their thing in Ironwood League play as the Falcons look poised to win another league championship. In fact, I had to ask Coach Agno, the assistant head coach, how many league titles has it been in a row? And he's like, gosh, I don't know, 6, 7? So, yeah, that's how many league titles they've won at Aquinas, and looks like they're going to go undefeated. If they go undefeated for the rest of the regular season, that means they'll have won 8 games in a row going into the playoffs. So they look good, like they're in a prime spot. And we'll preview Week 9 in just a moment. So that's the Ironwood League, as Champ Brown's going to go in for another score. But now let's talk about the Citrus Belt League, and Cajon picking up a big road win at Redlands, 49-10. The final in that one. Cajon is in a playoff spot as head coach Nick Rogers is hoping and seeing that his team is getting better as they head to the postseason.
I'm here with Nick Rogers, head coach of the Cajon Cowboys. Coach, dominating game, great game. How do you feel about tonight's performance, and how are you feeling going into next week?
You know, it's one of these things. You know, we're in league, and this is the way the schedule is, and so we got to play these teams, and I think our kids came out and performed pretty well, considering everything that's going on.
All right, our guy Elijah Green catching up with head coach Nick Rogers. Let's take a look at the Citrus Belt League standings as we go into week number 9. Beaumont is on top at 3-0, 7-1 overall, but there is Cajon just one game back at 2-1. But so is Citrus Valley, and Cajon and Citrus Valley will go head-to-head this upcoming week. So that is a very important game in terms of second and third place in the CBL. So we'll see what happens in these last 2 weeks. But if Beaumont wins out, they control their own destiny, and they would be CBL champions. I also say that fourth place is very important in the CBL because the fourth place team will likely make the postseason as well. Yucaipa 1 and 2, so is Rev, but Yucaipa won the head-to-head game against Redlands East Valley in a shootout this past week, 67-45. So Yucaipa would hold the tiebreaker if Yucaipa and Rev finish with the same league record. So that is the league standings after week 8 going into week number 9 in the Citrus Belt League. In the San Andreas League, there's only 4 teams, so it's a 3-game sprint to the league championship. San Gorgonio opening up league play against Rim of the World, which might be their toughest opponent to get to that league championship, but it was all San G in this one. 28-6 would be your final score as San Gorgonio rolls big time to get the upper hand, I guess you could say, in the San Andreas League championship title race, beating Rim 28-6. They're going to have another big game coming up against Grand Terrace, but San G is probably the heavy favorite going into it after that big win against Rim of the World. So let's take a look at the SAL standings, the San Andreas League. There's San Gorgonio on top at 1-0, but so is Grand Terrace. They are also 1-0, but also take note of the overall records. And San G at 6-1. Grand Terrace at 2-6, Rim of the World at 5-3. So San G will play Grand Terrace this upcoming week. That is obviously a big game because if San G wins, they'll have at least a share of the San Andreas League title. And I think when Grand Terrace plays Rim of the World, that'll probably be for a playoff spot. So that could be a very important game in the final week of the regular season. But again, after week 8, this is what it looks like going into week number 9. That's the San Andreas League. Over in the Mountain Valley League, it's A.B. Millers to lose. The Rebels have rolled out to a 3-0 start here in the MVL. And they've only got one Mountain Valley League game left. They're going to have a bye, I believe, in the final week of the season. They picked up a shutout win on the road at San Bernardino. 32-zip was the final score in week number 8. So now A.B. Miller in the driver's seat, as you would say. They would control their own destiny to win the Mountain Valley League Championship. So now, I guess now the biggest question mark is, can San Bernardino bounce back and fight their way to the playoffs, or will it be Indian Springs? The Coyotes are also coming off a win, but this was a non-league play, 28-20 against Cabrillo from Long Beach, and Indian Springs already has a victory head-to-head against San Bernardino. So when San Bernardino and Indian Springs play again, that could be for a playoff spot. So there's a lot on the line for the Coyotes and the Cardinals. So let's take a look at the Mountain Valley League standings right now after week number 8. There is Miller at 3-0, as we mentioned, and they have one more league game left. And if they win, they will be outright champions. In fact, they already have the league title. But again, the big question mark, I guess you could say, in the MVL is who's going to finish in second place? Who's going to get that playoff spot? So Indian Springs and San Bernardino. San Bernardino needs to battle back against Indian Springs to have any shot right now in the MVL. Let's take a look at the matchups in week number 9. Big one, Cajon and Citrus Valley. Both teams are tied for second place in the Citrus Belt League, so we'll see what happens there. Aquinas will continue Ironwood League action as they will take on Capistrano Valley Christian. From the Ironwood League to the San Andreas League, San Gorgonio versus Grand Terrace. Technically, this is for first place in the SAL. If San G wins that, they get at least a share of the league title. Arroyo Valley, they will take on Fontana in the Skyline League. The Hawks are fighting for their playoff lives. In the Mountain Valley League, A.B. Miller versus Indian Springs. Again, A.B. Miller is going to win the league championship in the MVL, but Indian Springs trying to finish high enough, or at least above San Bernardino, for a playoff spot in the MVL. But Coyotes, they played A.B. Miller tough the first time around. What was it? I think it was like 11-0 when they played in Fontana the first time around. So Indian Springs versus A.B. Miller is going to be another great game coming up in week number 9. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG. Subscribe to the IE Media Group YouTube channel. We'd appreciate it. And I will see you on Saturday for Sports Weekly Live on IEMG. My name is Pep Fernandez, and we'll see you next time.